This is TWiT.
Nick, you got the Nubia Red Magic 3. Are you a smartphone gamer? Or
Red Magic.
That's what this is all about, right?
Yeah, Red Magic. This phone is all about gaming. It's the claim to fame for this phone here is that it actually has a cooling fan on the inside to cool the CPU so that you can game to the max and get those 120 frames per second or 60 frames per second because the display isn't that good on here. It works. It's you can actually hear the fan when you turn it on. You can actually just turn it on and let it stay on if you want to, even while you're not gaming, just to make sure that your CPU is as cool as possible. But the one thing I really do like about this phone is that it is pretty much running stock Android. It's actually pretty closer to stock Android than a Pixel phone is, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
And you've got the LED color stripe on the back to make sure that
like
everybody knows you're using a gaming phone.
That's how you know it's a gamer phone.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a gamer phone. And the one thing that's disappointing about it is that it's really hard to turn on. You actually have to go into the settings to turn it on. There's not an app for it unless you're in the gaming mode. So if you just want to have it on, it's kind of a hassle just to flip a switch and turn it on. You have to do like 15 steps in order to get it turned on. So that's kind of disappointing, but it does light up pretty cool. You can set it so that the LED on the back of the phone lights up when you plug it in and it's charging. But it does consume battery, so I don't know why you would want it running all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, it seems like
it's a good phone. It's extremely fast. Has a lot of RAM. I've only been playing with it for 24 hours. But if you're looking for a device that's specifically tuned for gaming, it's a great option. And there's actually capacitive triggers on the top or the side of the phone that you can program in game, so that if you have different actions that you want to program to those triggers, you can just tap the side of the phone rather than pressing the screen.
Yeah, and we're seeing this. I mean, it's obviously not in many phones because there's only a handful of gaming-focused phones out there, but we're definitely seeing those shoulder triggers become more and more of a feature that are appearing in these types of phones. Do you think at some point we're going to have games that are like out of the Play Store supporting the triggers if they exist? At that point, that could really be kind of an exciting inclusion to mobile gaming.
Well, I think a lot of games actually do ship with support for triggers if they have support for gamepads. So a lot of games out of the box have support or already mapped for gamepads. If you connect a Bluetooth gamepad, it's already mapped to the buttons on the gamepad. I haven't seen anything that's supporting this specifically, but this actually does have a unique haptic engine on the inside that's specifically tuned for 4 different games. Only 4. So if you're playing any one of those 4 games, there's special rumble effects. If you get hit while you're, if someone shoots you, something like that, the phone vibrates differently than it would any other game. So they're doing some fine tuning with app developers. Do that. Support for the rather than something specific for gamepads.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I would say turn off that RGB stripe, and yeah, at the very minimum. Although 5,000 milliamp hour battery, that's a lot. Maybe you do have the battery to just throw around at that point.
You kind of do. I got it out of the box yesterday, and I probably downloaded 15 to 20 games to test out. Probably gamed an hour and a half to 2 hours. Tested out the camera. And it's still sitting at about 85% battery life. So, wow. And that's over 24 hours. I don't have my SIM in it yet, so it's only been over Wi-Fi. But even downloading that many games over Wi-Fi and playing around with it for that long just shows how long a 5,000 milliamp hour battery lasts. Except it's really heavy. This thing is a beast.
Oh, I'm sure. And it has the pogo pins at the bottom, so I imagine that you could plug into, I'm guessing, some sort of like controller kind of
they have a
unit.
They have a dedicated controller that this snaps into. They didn't send me that one, unfortunately. It would be interesting to see how the gaming experience is enhanced with that, but they didn't send it out.
Yeah.
Come on, ZTE, send it. Send it.
Maybe for the Red Magic 4, they've got you covered. Red Magic 3, awesome. Look out for that if you are into the gaming phones.